Well, Cory, we saw you fly in last night. How you feeling? How's the sleep? How's the acclimation to the travel going?
Yeah, it's good. I'm actually not acclimating to Abu Dhabi time. I'm going to stay on Denver time, which I've taken a lot of notes and rechecked and rechecked and rechecked over and over again. And actually, there's a lot of studies done on Olympic athletes from the U.S. that have had to, go do the Olympics in Japan and in other areas, and they actually say that if you stay on the sleep schedule back home, those people outperform the other group.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Does it make it difficult though with like the weigh-in stuff and the media stuff, or?
Moderately, but like I said, like nothing. It'll be like pretty definitely doable.
Okay. So
Yeah.
when are you sleeping then over here?
So I'm gonna sleep. I should be asleep right now, but once we're
Yeah.
done with this, it's gonna be. I'll get 7 or 8 hours tonight, and then 7 8 hours the next day. 7 8 hours. So I'll go to bed around. What is it, like 10 a.m. around Abu Dhabi time?
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the remarkable thing about this fight to me is that you called it, is that you saw it coming.
Mm-hmm.
You're a fill-in, but it's almost like, yeah, you called your shot. I mean, was that just like a gut feeling? Was that just like a simple as, hey, I see Aljamain and he didn't want to fight in this month? Like, was it more of like a gut feeling or like a more of a cerebral thing? You're like, hey, I think this fight's gonna fall apart.
It was a gut thing.
Yeah.
It was one of those things where I was actually having a conversation with one of my training partners a couple days even before I got asked to fill in for the fight, and I was sitting there and I was like, my camps are very difficult, so I was like, man, like I just got out of the fight. Like, do you think that I should train for this one like I would be training for a championship fight? And I remember just thinking like, I don't want to be asked 2 or 3 weeks before and have to say no. And so at that point, I think I was 7 weeks away, and I was like, I'm not doing that. I'm not gonna let myself miss that opportunity just because I need a little bit of a break. So it was just a gut feeling, man. It was beautiful how it worked out. It feels really cool to have something in the back of your mind come to fruition like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was cool, man. But it was just a gut thing.
Are you a gut feeling kind of guy?
I'm a little bit of like an intuitive dude, but I'm also I also use my brain also, and I knew that they weren't gonna have too many other options if it wasn't me. If Sterling was gonna pull out, it was gonna be me and maybe 1 or 2 other guys, and I had to be the guy that was in the best position for this opportunity, and that's what I did.
Does this week feel any different to you because it is a title fight?
Not really. It was pretty cool, like getting that call and like the emotions and feelings that come with getting an opportunity to take a crack at your dream. But for me, just as as like a professional athlete and as a sports performer, I need to stick with what's going to help me win this fight, and what's going to help me win this fight is making sure that I'm clocked in for those 25 minutes and making sure that I'm working hard in those, staying focused and being the best skilled fighter that I can be in those 25 minutes, and everything else is everything else. Yan is just an opponent. The gold is just the gold, but it's more about those 25 minutes of me working hard that's going to win me all of those things.
You've been in the UFC for about 4 years. I mean, had you really envisioned like what this moment might look like? Like when I get to a title fight, it could look like this, it could look like that. Had you done much of that?
Yeah, but it starts to change when you start to lose and figure out that things don't always go your way. So if it were up to me, I'd be a millionaire who's been the champ, for 2-3 years now, probably 2 or 3 belts. But that's not how the world works, right? So. My journey has definitely been different than everyone else's journey, but I think that I've done the best that I can with what I've been given and what I've had happen, and I think that I've always conducted myself like a champion. I've always put effort forward like a champion. I've always loved the sport like a champion, and I feel like that's why I'm fighting for a championship belt. There's no secret to it, man. Like, I'm not doing anything different for this camp. It's the same, working my ass off like it is for every single camp.
I saw you say in another interview that there was, and I like the way you put it, you had to quiet some voices after the 2 losses. Can you expand on that? What do you mean by that?
I think after you lose and after you win, regardless, there's doubts that pop into your head, and especially after a loss, those doubts can be very loud and they can be very mean. And having gone through it a few times, I'm a little bit more comfortable and capable of just Xing those out. But those voices in your head, man, there's something you got to keep tabs on if you want to be the best version that you can be. And they speak a little bit louder after you lose.
Are they gone now, though, or do they crop up just when you get this close to a fight?
I'm pretty over it. There's this process of losing that is like, you hate it. You hate it. You wonder why it happened. You wonder why it happened to you. You start to feel bad for yourself, this and that. And then you get to a point where you're grateful that it happened because of all the things that you got to learn from it. And I'm grateful that it happened because I got to learn a lot from it. I'm the guy sitting in this chair, not the person that I lost to.
Yeah.
So, the universe has a way of lining up the stars for people that do their best, I think.
And for Yan specifically, I've talked to you before, fight before. I like your cerebral approach to it. Can you just talk about Yan, how he compares to some of the other guys, you fought recently, the top guys, TJ Dillashaw, Aljamain Sterling. What's unique about him? What's challenging him compared to some of those other guys?
I think Yan has a really efficient style, and I think that he's defensively better than a lot of the guys that I fought in the past. I think while me and him both, I think, are really advanced at protecting ourselves, we do it very differently, right? Like I do it with movement and space, and he does it by covering and pulling people into things. So yeah, I think honestly, man, I think that me and Yan have a lot of similarities going into this fight. I think that our mentalities are very similar. I think that we both go out and we try to take the other person out. I think that we're both very defensive fighters, and I think that we both are very dangerous fighters. And that's why I think that everyone's so excited about this fight, including myself.
So when you close your eyes, what do you see happening on Saturday?
I see myself having to go to war for 25 minutes, work my ass off for 25 minutes, stay focused, and stick to the game plan and stay skilled. And as long as I can do that for 25 minutes, I'll leave there a UFC champion.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.